Hello, my foodie friends, and welcome back to In the Kitchen with Karen. I'd like to give an extra big hello to all my new subscribers who have joined me lately. I'm so happy to have you here. Well, spring is in full force, and in honor of that, today I'm going to be making a cake, and I'm doing this as a part of a collaboration with a lot of other channels, and I'm going to be making a chocolate-covered strawberry loaf cake. Now, this collaboration was started by three of my friends who also have cooking channels. Cam and Teresa from Flour, Eggs, and Yeast, Molly from Molly Cakes, and Lorelei by Cakes with Lorelei. Now, they wanted to do cakes that have a spring theme. So strawberries always remind me of spring. So this is going to be a nice and easy cake, and I think you're going to love it. So let's get cooking. To get started, we're going to take 3/4 cup of granulated sugar and put it in a large bowl. Then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of unsalted softened butter. Now we're going to mix this with a beater until it's light and fluffy for about 2 minutes. Now we're going to add in 3 large eggs, one at a time. Added our 3 eggs, so let's scrape down the side of our bowl and set this aside. In another bowl, I put 2 cups of all-purpose flour, but I took out 2 tablespoons and divided them into 1 tablespoon portions into little cups. Now set these aside. Now to our flour, we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now to our wet batter, we are going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we are going to start to add our flour mixture into the wet batter. We're going to start with about half of the mixture. And then I also have a 1/2 cup of sour cream, and I'm going to add about half of that to the mixture. And now we're going to add the rest of the flour mixture. And the rest of our sour cream. Now make sure you don't overmix it. Now that our batter is mixed up, let's work on chopping our strawberries. So we're gonna need 1.5 cups of diced strawberries. So I've diced up 1.5 cups of the strawberries, and now we're gonna take the 1 tablespoon of flour that we took out of our 2 cups of flour and sprinkle it on our strawberries. And the reason that we're doing that is so when we put the strawberries in the batter, they won't sink to the bottom of the cake. It's gonna make it absorb some of the liquid. Let's move to the chocolate. So we have 1/2 cup of mini chocolate chips. We're gonna take the other 1 tablespoon of flour and mix it into those. And this is gonna do the same thing, prevent the chocolate from all falling to the bottom of the cake. Now we're gonna reserve about 1 tablespoon of these chocolate chips to go on top of the cake. And we're also gonna reserve about 1 tablespoon of the strawberries, just so it looks pretty on top.
The flour-coated ones?
Mm-hmm. The flour-coated ones.
I don't know.
Trust me, it'll work. So I have a glass loaf pan. Of course, you can use a metal one. I took some parchment paper and lined it so it's easy to come out, but you can just also flour and butter it. And then what I did was we are gonna incorporate the strawberries into the batter, as well as the chocolate chips. And you wanna fold them in. You don't wanna mix it too hard or you're gonna have a pink batter. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but. So we're ready to pour it into our pan. And then just sprinkle it with the strawberries and your remaining chocolate chips. And now I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and this is gonna bake from anywhere to 50 to 60 minutes. And we'll come back when it's all finished. Now, while our strawberry cake is in the oven, let's take this time to make our chocolate ganache frosting. It could not be easier. All it is equal parts of chocolate and heavy cream. And for this, we're gonna need 1 cup of chocolate chips and 1 cup of heavy cream. All I'm gonna do is heat this cream in the microwave until it's nice and hot. You do not wanna boil it. It's gonna take about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. We just wanna get it hot, and then we're gonna pour it into our chocolate chips. I'll be right back. So our cream is nice and hot. It's steaming, but it's not boiling. And we're gonna pour it over our chocolate. And now what you want to do is just leave it there for 2 to 3 minutes so it has time for the chocolate to melt and it'll be easier to stir. So our hot cream has been in there for a couple minutes, so we're gonna stir it up. Now just be patient, it does take a couple minutes to fully incorporate the chocolate.
I say incorporate a lot.
Chris says I say incorporate a lot, but it's a chefy term.
You need more words.
And now what you want is a really smooth consistency. We also say consistency a lot. And now once this gets to a nice smooth consistency, as it cools, it's gonna start to thicken. And before we pour it on the cake, we're gonna wanna let it thicken for probably about a half an hour. So it gets to more of like an icing consistency. All right, guys, we'll be back. So this is how it looks. It was cooking for a full 60 minutes. It's nice golden brown on top. And I like how the strawberries and the chocolate sprinkled on top really show. So we're gonna let this fully cool and then we will put the chocolate ganache on top. So our chocolate ganache has been sitting out to cool for about a half an hour and it's got to a thicker consistency and we are just going to pour it on top of our cake. And as this sits out, it is gonna get even thicker and it will, now it's not gonna get completely dry, but it will definitely get thicker. And there you have it, our chocolate covered strawberry cake. Okay, you guys, I've been waiting to try this for 2 hours. So let's see how it tastes. I'm trying the little cupcake. What I like about it, sorry I'm chewing, is that it's not overly sweet. The chocolate ganache gives it just enough sweetness. Now let me try to find a piece with the strawberry in it. Yeah, right here. The combination of the chocolate and strawberry, it's like a chocolate covered strawberry. It's very good. So I hope you guys are gonna give this a try. If you do, let me know how you like it. Please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, I sure hope you do. And we will see you on the next episode. Bye, everybody.